and thanks for joining Aso Briefing today. I am Princess Sobra Usman. Our top stories. FCT teachers resume work today as NUT suspends strike. Senate accused NAFDAC over prolonged marginalization in recruitment practices. And Vice President Kashim Shettima solicits support of the judiciary for capital market growth. You're watching Aso Television News. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, Free TV channel 507, UHF band on channel 38. We now go ahead with details of all our stories. Starting on a good note, the Nigerian Union of Teachers NUT FCT wing has announced the suspension of its ongoing strike action effective July 9, 2025 today. The strike, which began on March 24, 2025, was prompted by the non-payment of salaries and arrests to primary school teachers in FCT. The FCT minister's intervention on July 3, 2025, led to a meeting with stakeholders, including the NUT executives. The minister acknowledged the area council's responsibility for paying primary school teachers' salary, but highlighted the inadequacy of their allocation. To address the issue, the minister offered the release of 16 billion naira, representing 10% of the area council's 6 months internally generated revenue, to augment the payment of the new minimum wage for June and 60% of 9 months arrears. The constitution of a special committee to harmonize outstanding arrears and source funds for permanent settlement. After deliberating on the minister's offers, FCT chairman of the NUT, Comrade Abdullahi Muhammad Shafa, said the State Wing Executive Council SWEC resolved to suspend the strike action upon release of the 16 billion naira and its payment to teachers' accounts.
Consequent upon the implementation of the new minimum wage and payment of 5 months arrears into teachers' account today, 8 July 2025, the SWEC hereby suspend the ongoing strike action and appeals to all primary school teachers in FCT to, with effect from Wednesday, 9th July 2025, return to the classroom and continue with their legitimate duties, while the union intensify more efforts to ensure that the settlement of the remaining entitlements are ongoing.
Correspondent Abdullahi Mukhtar reports that the State Wing Executive Council expressed gratitude to its members, primary school teachers and stakeholders, including FCT Royal Fathers, civil society organizations and well-meaning individuals who supported the union during the strike. The Senate has reiterated its readiness to a careful and independent review of concurrence bill received from the House of Representatives. Senate leader Senator Opeyemi Bamidele Ekiti Central stated this on the floor of the Red Chamber in Abuja. Senator Bamidele Opeyemi stressed that while legislative cooperation is guided by the principle of chamber reciprocity, this does not equate to automatic approval without proper examination. He highlighted that just last week the Senate approved 6 bills from the House, but emphasized that reciprocity does not mean garbage in, garbage out. The Senate leader added that each bill will be thoroughly scrutinized to reflect diverse public interests. Senator Bamidele assured both chambers that the Senate remains committed to maintaining legislative integrity by ensuring all concordant bills undergo comprehensive evaluation before passage.
Without attempting to respond to what was published in some newspapers about the Senate not working on concurrent bills of the House of Representatives, let me say for the record that we have been doing what we are supposed to do, and that only last week this Senate concurred to 6 bills from the House of Representatives. And yes, while we have the principle of chamber reciprocity, Mr. President, the principle of chamber reciprocity does not necessarily mean for us garbage in, garbage out. We will continue to consider concurrence bills sent from the House of Representatives the same way they also consider our own, and we will ensure that every bill is given attention in overriding public interest. I just wanted to say this. We are attending to those concurrence bills, and will continue to do what we are supposed to do.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, also noted recent progress, confirming that 6 House bills were addressed last week. He added that at least 2 more bills are slated for consideration this week, underscoring the Senate's ongoing commitment to collaborative lawmaking.
But at least I know we are going to do 2 today, and we'll continue to do so. So please let our brothers in the House of Representatives know that we cannot joke with anything that comes from there. It takes 2 hands to clap, and we'll continue to work together. So proceed.
Mr. President, very distinguished.
The Senate President said this stand reaffirms the Senate dedication to legislative diligence and partnership, ensuring every bill is assessed on its merit for the benefit of the public. In a related development, the bill for an act to enable the growth of digital economy governance in Nigeria passed second reading in the Senate. Still from the Red Chamber, the Senate has expressed strong disapproval over what it described as prolonged marginalization and lopsidedness in the recruitment practices of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, NAFDAC, spanning more than 2 decades. During an investigative hearing on recruitment disparities in federal agencies, the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs, chaired by Senator Alwell Oyeso, hosted officials from both NAFDAC and the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Senator Oyeso decried the unequal regional representation within NAFDAC's workforce, accusing unnamed powerful individuals of manipulating the recruitment processes. He insisted that such imbalances could not be justified in a diverse country like Nigeria. Also speaking, the Senate Minority Whip, Senator Osita Ungu, Enugu West, linked the mass relocation of Nigerian medical doctors and other health professionals abroad to unemployment and persistent recruitment bias in federal agencies.
You understand? If they are open, unemployment is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria today. How can we say we don't have doctors and pharmacists when they are running out of the country? Some can't run because they don't have the means. And some are trying to run because they don't have the job. So if we are open and transparent, we will see these people. And also, if a state does not have pharmacists, they will have lawyers. So during the employment, we balance it because we must respect fair character principle. Thank you.
In her response, the DG of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, acknowledged the concerns raised by clarified that the agency had not conducted any recent recruitment. She attributed the existing imbalance to past recruitment exercises and emphasized that addressing the issue would require time.
Also affects us in NAFDAC is the fact that we are a scientific organization. Except for HRM and accounts, we are a scientific organization. Medical doctors, lawyers, veterinarians, pharmacists, and all areas of science. Legal, yes. What I'm saying is, federal character will say, okay, hire 4 from this state. We get 6 from that state. But none have, and federal character also gives us hire 37 pharmacists, 28 food scientists. Sir, I'm talking of, yes, I'm talking of, just practicality, and we look for pharmacists, for example, from that state. There was none, or there will be none for that particular recruitment exercise. So it is also affected by the professional areas that, yes, sir.
The committee pledged to continue its oversight functions to ensure transparency, fairness and equity in public sector recruitment as part of efforts to promote national unity and inclusiveness. Nigeria's Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima has disclosed the federal government already introduced a grassroots focused framework Nutrition 774 initiative aimed at addressing the nutrition crisis in underserved communities across the country. This is as he decried the impact of malnutrition on Nigerian children, stating that it robs about 40% of children under 5 of their physical and cognitive potential. The Vice President, represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Senator Ibrahim Hadejia, at the National Summit on Nutrition and Food Security, organized by the House of Representative Committee on Nutrition and Food Security, part of the House Open Week activities, noted that nutrition under President Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda has been repositioned as a core component of the National Development Strategy. The VPO, who is also the chairman of the National Council on Nutrition, emphasized the role of initiative in mobilizing political will and ensuring sustainable funding, enhancing collaboration across all levels of government, and promoting accountability.
The occasion that brings us here today is not celebration. It is a reminder of the burden that we bear. It is a reminder that food insecurity is not only about hunger, it is also about whether our people can afford, access, and accept the food that meets their nutritional needs. Nutrition 774 is a living strategy, one that drives political commitment, secures sustainable financing, demands accountability, and galvanizes collaboration across federal, state, and local.
In his remarks, Speaker of the House, Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, represented by the leader, Professor Julius Ihonvere, warned that malnutrition is costing Nigeria approximately 12.2% of its gross national income, an estimated $56 billion annually, adding that post-harvest losses account for an additional 2 billion naira per year, underscoring the need for urgent reforms. He highlighted Nigeria's potential to lead in food production across the continent and noting the importance of integrating nutrition-sensitive programs into federal and state budgets. On his part, Chairman of the House Committee on Nutrition and Food Security, Mr. Chike Okafo, said malnutrition-related health issues such as stunting, low birth weight, and anemia, among others, carry significant economic consequences. He stressed the need for enhanced oversight of all nutrition-related interventions by both local and international partners.
Malnutrition stands out as a human tragedy and a development challenge. Millions of our brothers and sisters, especially children and women, suffer the consequences of poor nutrition. This summit must therefore galvanize us to forge sustainable, evidence-based solutions that alleviate their suffering and secure a healthier future for all.
On the above premise, my committee is working with those in the 36 states House of Assembly of the Federation to do things differently. First of all, we are undertaking strategic capacity building sessions to have a better understanding of the root and dynamics of current nutrition and food security challenges in Nigeria.
The lawmaker added that the House Committee on Nutrition aims to ensure better utilization of funds, improve transparency, and alignment with national guidelines at all levels of government. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, has categorically stated that the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, is not on strike, emphasizing the federal government's continued efforts to ensure industrial harmony in the nation's federal tertiary institution. Speaking in Abuja, Dr. Alausa noted that the current atmosphere of stability across tertiary institutions is the result of sustained dialogue, mutual respect, and genuine commitment by the present administration to address the demands of academic and non-academic staff unions. He said it is not by coincidence that Nigerian public tertiary institutions have remained open and stable for the past 2 years. Said something happened in several decades, something that has not happened in several decades, I beg your pardon, adding that it is a reflection of government's unwavering commitment to maintaining cordial relationships with all stakeholders in the education sector. Dr. Alausa stressed that the welfare of both academic and non-academic staff remains a top priority of the federal government and is in line with President Bola Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda for human capital development. He reassured that the government will not relent in improving working conditions and protecting the academic calendar. The minister said federal government will continue to work closely with all unions in the education sector to ensure that the gates of institution remains open. The minister concluded by urging the public to disregard any misinformation suggesting that ASU is on strike, reiterating that the current stability in the university system is a joint achievement that must be preserved. And coming up on Aso Briefing, House of Representatives probe implementation of 5% user charge on petroleum products. Plus business, do join us after the break.
We were warned about this marriage. Because we did not listen, the young maiden is dead.
Nana, come here. Hi. Why do you speak so freely with a stranger from Ajan?
We were just talking about offering Odigija a seat on the council.
You got to be praised. He has 2 wives. So why are you making it look like it is a big deal?
Welcome back. Moving on. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, and Nasarawa State Government have sealed a memorandum of understanding on the establishment of University of Public Relations and Leadership to be located in Gudi, Akwanga local government area of the state. Our correspondent, Holina Adejo, was there and tells us more.
A memorandum of understanding signed in Abuja on Monday maps out a number of benefits to the host state, including at least 20 scholarship slots yearly for qualified indigents, with each of the 13 local government areas represented when the institution takes off. In his remarks, Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, who handed over the conveyance of approval of grant of land for siting of the university, reiterated his commitment to ensure that necessary measures are put in place for the commencement of the academic institution, while expressing delight that Nasarawa will be the host state for the global standard academic institution. The governor assured that perimeter fencing of the property will commence immediately, which will be followed by construction of main structures.
The conveyance of approval of the land, we prepared it and came with it so that we can hand it over to you. So that we are not just signing MOU, I'm handing over the land to you today. We have to continue to show commitment so that the world will understand that in Nigeria we have people who, when they commit, they live by that commitment. We must send this message, and there is no better place actually to send that message than NIPR.
Earlier in his address, the President, Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Ike Neliaku, who described the university as a global project, noted that it is part of the Institute's contribution towards addressing leadership gap in Africa, which he said is the bane of the continent's development.
It's only recently that we began to learn that we must train people to lead. Go to other climes. In the US, in the UK, they have institutions that are used to train leaders. Even in the royal families, in the monarchies, their young ones are trained to learn the etiquette of leadership, understand their operating environment, and know how to lead. So we are now raising a new generation of credible leaders who will eventually become the new Nigerians that will see to the enthronement of a sustainable new Nigeria.
The university, according to the MOU, will offer 50 concessionary admission slots annually for qualified candidates, sponsored by the Nasarawa State government, with representation from all the local government areas. The NIPR president said the UPRL will serve as a hub for manpower development and capacity building for indigents of Nasarawa and neighboring states, preparing Nigeria as a hub for equipping leaders for effective service delivery.
History has been sealed today at the Governor's Lodge
Aso Television News.
In Asoko John Kadia Street.
The chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Jibrin-Giri, has expressed gratitude to President Tinubu and FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike for the various road projects in the area council. Speaking during the commissioning of the new Market Radio Nigeria Agomas Palace Road by VP Kashim Shettima. Giri stated that the people of Gwagwalada will forever be grateful for these developments. Our correspondent Abdullahi Mukhtar completes the report.
The commissioning ceremony was attended by hundreds of residents who welcomed the Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, FCT Minister Barrister Yesu Wike, and other dignitaries. Alhaji Abubakar Jibrin Kiri, Chairman Gwagwalada Area Council, commended the current administration, noting that if previous administrations had achieved what the current one has, Gwagwalada would have been a thriving metropolis by now.
We, the people of Gwagwalada Council and the people of FCT entirely, are so happy with what they are doing to us in the inception of this administration right from 2023. In fact, we believe before end of this year and also end of the tenure, we will be happy with what the minister is doing and also happy with what Mr. President is doing in the FCT.
The Gwagwalada chairman appealed to the FCT minister to consider constructing other critical roads, such as the Gwagwalada-Izon Road, which would facilitate travel between the FCT and Niger State.
We still have a road from Ward 2 down to Army Park, and also last time we came to commission project from Paipo to Iwa. We want the Minister of the City to assist us because we, the area council, don't have the capacity to do all this type of road that they're doing for us in the city.
Giri urged residents to maintain peace in the council area and join him in thanking the President and FCT Minister. He also encouraged the community to protect and maintain the new road projects as if they were their personal belongings.
I also want to tell the people of Gwagwalada Council to live in peace and remain calm, and also join me to appreciate Mr. President and also the Minister of the City by conducting or by constructing these good roads for us in the South Town.
The commissioning of the new Market Radio Nigeria Agumas Palace Road is part of the 16th project commission across the FCT to mark President Tinubu's 2 years in office, which was rounded off with a Thanksgiving service last Sunday by the FCT Minister Barrister Yesu Wike. Abdullahi Mukhtar, Aso Television News.
The House of Representatives ad hoc committee to investigate implementation and remittance of the 5% user charge on pump price of petroleum products for road maintenance has inaugurated 2 stakeholders committees to address issues surrounding the collection and disbursement of the charges. Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Mr. Francis Webb, said the 2 committees were expected to look into the Pre-Tax Act and the Post-Tax Act situations and address areas of conflicts with FERMA Act. He lamented that the 5% user charge had over the years not been operationalized. The lawmaker gave the 2 committees terms of reference to include specifying modalities, procedures, and processes for collection and disbursement, recommending specific modalities for personnel, opening of beneficiary bank account for remittance of collections, identifying and specifying roles to be played by specific relevant MDAs, and identifying gaps and conflicts of policies and legislative actions. Membership of the committee are drawn from FEMA, Nigerian Petroleum Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority, Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria, MEMNAN, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, and National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and others. The user charge, as contained in the Act establishing the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, stipulated 40% of the proceeds will accrue to FEMA and 60% to be utilized by the established state roads maintenance agencies. The Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Shamsuddin Babatunde Ogunjimi, has called for a paradigm shift in Nigeria's public financial management system from delayed post-mortem audits to proactive, real-time transparency backed by technology and institutional discipline. The AGF, in a remark at the 2025 National Conference on Public Accounts and Fiscal Governance, organized by the Senate and House of Representatives Public Account Committee in Abuja, stressed the urgent need to entrench accountability, fiscal prudence, and efficiency in the management of public resources, especially in light of Nigeria's economic challenges. He commended the Public Account Committees of both chambers of the National Assembly for organizing the event, describing it as a crucial platform for charting Nigeria's path towards transparency, accountability, and responsible governance. Mr. Ogunjimi noted that the core of every functioning democracy lies in the principle that those who manage public resources must be answerable to the people. He called on NDAs to embrace digital tools that minimize manual interference and reduce opportunities for corruption, arguing that audit reports should never be allowed to gather dust in legislative chambers but trigger prompt and measurable action across relevant sectors. And the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, CAPA, has continued to raise concern over Nigeria's current sugar sweetened beverage SSB tax, warning that easy access to such products poses a serious threat to public health. Our correspondent Elizabeth Kasham has more on that.
Expressing dissatisfaction, Executive Director of CAPA, Akimbode Oluwafemi, stated during a special media roundtable in Abuja that current 10 naira per litre SSB tax is inadequate and does not effectively influence market behavior or deliver meaningful public health outcomes.
The tax on sugary drinks, and it's not only for us in CAPA, we are recommending from the current 10 naira a litre, which is like 3 naira on your 33 CL, to 130 naira. I mean, the issue is that the president now needs to initiate the administrative processes, either through the Joint Tax Board, to ensure that this tax is increased, because in fact the 10 naira per litre was not even adjustable to inflation. So whatever that tax represents has been wiped off completely by inflation.
Professor Olukumi Olaita of the University of Ilorin, who spoke on reinforcing healthy diet in Nigeria, explains harms and health risks associated with SSB and junk foods.
Sugar will make you get fat. Studies have shown that fatty people are less brilliant, and the reason is this. You know, because of that fat, the body is carrying certain weights. For example, if a slim person and a fat person, they are trekking a distance, there is tendency that that fat person will be sweating faster and will be tired faster because he is carrying heavy weight than a slimmer person that is carrying a very light weight. It is the same vein that will make that fat person to be tired of even going to carry his book or her book to be reading for exam. That is why they are usually less brilliant than the. So what we are trying to say in essence is that to reduce this problem, this plague in our society, SSB tax is needed, in fact, as a matter of exigency now.
An advocate from the Healthy Food Policy Vanguard, Francis Emo, has called for sustained implementation of relevant policies, emphasizing the need for long-term commitments to effectively address public health concerns.
We are hoping that the government don't just look towards implementing it also, but also executing it on a long run.
World Health Organization had last week urged Nigeria and other member states to raise taxes on alcohol and tobacco by 50% over the next decade as strategic measure to tackle the growing burden of non-communicable diseases, suggesting that effective health taxes will result in at least a 25% increase in the retail price of sugary drinks. Elizabeth Kasham, Aso Television News.
The Director General National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, has charged female corps members to be committed towards self-reliance and wealth creation. General Nafiu stated this while addressing female corps members participants at the FCT Center of a 3-day training program organized for 5,000 female corps members nationwide on entrepreneurship by the Enterprise Development Center of Pan-African University, Lagos. General Nafiu, while congratulating the corps trainees, urged them to defy all challenges and birth a new vision of the post-camp specialized training, to rewrite their stories and join the League of Business Owners in the country. The Director of Skills Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development Department, Mr. Kehinde Aremukol, lauded General Nafiu for his commitment to Said initiative for the NYSC. He hailed the MasterCard Foundation for financing the project and also Pan-African University for the training, which is ongoing simultaneously in 21 states across the country. The Director commended the female corps members for choosing the path of business ownership, adding that none of them will regret such decision. 2 hearing-impaired female corps members were also part of the beneficiaries of the entrepreneurship development training at the FCT Center. And on business, Vice President Kashim Shettima has solicited support of the judiciary to grow the nation's capital market through the delivery of verdicts that are well-reasoned, timely, and technically sound. Speaking in Abuja during the opening ceremony of a two-day workshop organized by Securities and Exchange Commission for judges, the Vice President acknowledged that such verdicts will send a strong positive signal to the market, enhancing confidence and attracting capital. Represented by the Special Advisor to the President on Economic Affairs in the Office of Vice President, Dr. Tope Faswa, the VP described the capital market as the lifeline of any modern economy, with the theme repositioning the Nigerian capital market for national economic transformation through effective dispute resolution. He said that it underscores the undeniable truth that a robust, efficient, and trustworthy capital market is the bedrock upon which sustainable national economic transformation can be built. While affirming that a well-functioning capital market can unlock latent wealth, deepen financial inclusion, and ultimately improve the economy, Senator Shettima explained that the capital market is a sophisticated ecosystem that mobilizes long-term capital for productive investment. In his remark, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Ekekere Ekum, who was represented by Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Stephen Ada, pointed that the capital market was no longer a distant abstraction limited to high finance or institutional investors, but has become a critical leveler of economic participation and empowerment. And that's Aso Briefing for today. Many thanks for watching. I am Princess Sobura Usman.